dope episode.
We got a good show for him today.
We got a good show. It's Father's Day weekend, so we had put our heads together and we came up with a fantastic show for you guys.
How was your Father's Day, man?
Father's Day was, I hate saying fantastic, but is there another word for fantastic?
Wonderful.
A little bit more wonderful. Exciting. It was very good. Very
Family
good.
treated you good?
Went to Orange County on Friday, and I tried out some VR. VR technology. Did the video games.
Okay.
What I learned is, yes, you will get lost in that world. I understand that there's so much money to be made with that.
You can see
son, you won't leave that.
I know.
You won't leave. You won't leave. You'll spend all your dough, and you won't leave. I had a fantastic time. I had to walk out of there, but I did notice that where I was at, I was the only one. So I held it down for the culture. Didn't misbehave. I acted accordingly. I said thank you. I went camping also.
Yeah.
Excuse me. At Bonita Falls, Lido Creek. It's up Sierra. You take Sierra all the way up, just keep going off into the mountains, and you'll reach there after you have no signal. If you have no signal, then you've reached your destination. I was off the grid.
See, that's cool.
I was off the grid, pen and pad, no cell phone, no nothing. But I had a great time. How was your weekend, bro?
Man, I chilled with my pops. He's at home right now because he wasn't feeling good, so I just kind of went shopping for him and spent some time with him. We cooked. My mom and my cousins were there. I mean, it was great. It was just all family. We huddled around him because he hasn't been feeling too good. But he still had a good Father's Day, and he got some great gifts, and it was good to hang out with my dad for a minute. Yeah.
That's what you have to do because we only got time. We don't have, and you got to spend that time.
You only get one father.
Well,
if that.
You got two fathers. You got the Father in the sky.
Yeah, that is true.
Let's get into it. What was happening around the Inland Empire? Juneteenth. Did we celebrate it? It was on the 19th, I believe it was, or 17th, excuse me. What day is Juneteenth?
19th.
The 19th.
But people take different times of the week and weekends because of venues but there was like 5 or 6 Juneteenth events going on. There was one in San Dimas, one in San Bernardino, one in Colton. So, hey.
This one I saw, the High Desert also. This one was held at San Bernardino Valley College on the 17th. They do a lot of stuff. It was called Stomp the Yard Edition. Had over 1,000 attendees. And as we already know what Juneteenth is to celebrate, it was 2 years after. What's the history here?
The day slavery was over.
The day slavery was over, but it was
running to tell another slavery was over like they didn't believe you. You better get back to work.
Yeah. So, Juneteenth celebrate nationwide every year on the 19th, acknowledges the emancipation of African Americans. The holiday provides an understanding of the black community's past struggles and triumphs that continue to bring hope today.
Bring reparations.
Well, yeah. They're not going to do that, Jay.
You don't think, man? Come on now. It's already on the ballot. Some states are already doing it. What was the state? Dallas started giving reparations to those people? Yeah. But that's only one state. And how did they gauge what they were going to get? I don't get that part.
That's going to be hard to determine who should get it and who should not get it, and that's a problem.
You might be too light skinned. You might have to.
Yeah. You did.
You light skinned brothers only going to get half the money, so it's all good.
Some of the performers at this event at the college was. Do you know any of these names? Some of the performers here was Yadida Page, Amori, the songstress. I remember her. Yeah.
She was the one in Palm Springs with us.
She was in Palm Springs. She did a fantastic job out there. Today's word is fantastic, everybody. I keep repeating myself. That was going on there. All right, so let's get into why we're here. My guest, or our guest, let me get my paperwork together. I've known our guest through a mutual friend, and whenever he speaks or spoke on this guest, it's always with high regards. The character of this man transcends boundaries. He needs no introduction. His organization, called Fathers in Hip Hop, is well known for many years. He has taken the culture and put it on his back, championing good men, good fathers, good healthy community, and that's why we have him here. He goes by the name of Justified. Ladies and gentlemen, Justified's in the building.
Yo. How you doing, man? How you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Blessed. Hey, I'm gonna need you to email that to me. That I need to add that to my EPK.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds good. You know,
It took me all year, but it's been.
that's all good.
That's
Yeah,
what we do. We
But
big up our
thank you.
that introduction
Thank you for
right
coming
there
in on
was-
short notice. We spoke on Saturday, and I was unable to go up to your event out there, but I'm glad you was able to make time and come down here and share some of this knowledge and information that you have, and I appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate that.
What was going on Saturday up there in the hill?
Oh man, we was doing that 2023 Fathers in Hip Hop Awards,
Good.
and it was definitely a milestone moment for the movement, being that we crossed over into a level of acknowledgement to a couple political figures. We had the mayor of Apple Valley, Scott Nassif, came out and received the Fathers in Hip Hop Award. We had the fire chief of the Victorville Fire Department, David Foster, came out and received the Fathers in Hip Hop Award, among some other good men. My boy Rockbox, Young Music. I don't want to say, you start saying names, you got to name everybody.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah,
Did you give him a
and-
trophy
and-
or what was it?
Oh man, they get that official Fathers in Hip Hop plaque. You know what I mean? It's,
Okay.
It's nice, something you can hang on your wall, and we kept it real classy. We've been doing these Fathers in Hip Hop Awards, but what was so special about this one was that we got to move the movement into another space, and that's to bring those elected officials out to participate in a movement for fathers. And it was that we were able to connect on fatherhood and be able to have conversation about the community from a father standpoint. And that's the approach that I'm moving the movement with, is to, I don't care about your religious beliefs, I don't care about your political party. I'm interested in talking about fatherhood and what our roles and responsibilities are and how we can work together to impact our community. So
Let me ask you this. Let's start from the beginning. How did you reinvent yourself? How long has this company been around? Because when we first initially met, you were a recording artist,
right.
and you still record.
I do. I just dropped a new project, but it's all the way independent, because I'm only allowing it to be bought directly from me. Haven't released it to the digital platform yet.
Ownership, money.
I mean, it's just it's now money. Your streams and all that. You gotta wait a little while, to get that bread. But that hand-to-hand combat, and that's what I came up on. That was the roots to my movement, was selling out the trunk. So, it's only right that I have them. Now, I'm not on the out the trunk every day in the parking lot like I used to be, but when I have a special event, it don't hurt to have the CD on the table
Ready to
available
go.
for purchase. You know what I mean? Get a couple extra dollars.
Do you
Right
still
there.
sell a lot of CDs though?
I'll be honest with you, brother. The message is so powerful that oftentimes the purchase isn't necessary. I just give it to you. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
And if they want to bless me with a donation or something for it, back in the day when I was on my super grind, I was trying to pay bills and trying to
Split
take
the
care
dollars,
of life.
yeah.
And it was hard to it was all about the re-up. I got to sell 100 CDs, pay these bills, but go re-up. God have elevated me to another place that I'm not dependent on my bills to be paid off of what I sell, record-wise. So, like I said, the message is powerful enough to give it away and understand that that's a seed being sown, and a harvest will come back.
Yeah, it will come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Is all your music positive, or what kind
Nah, man, I
No,
be talking
just-
about the bees, and no, I'm just playing. My music has always been a direct reflection of the life that I live. So if you look at some of those titles, you can kind of see what this
Don't you
project
worry.
is about.
What's the
Hard in
titles?
the paint,
Hard in the Paint.
stand the rain, where I'm at, and fatherhood.
Bang.
Yeah, those are
All right.
So that qualifies as a clean album right there. Yeah.
But I mean,
It got something.
it's a little expressive explicitness.
I see.
It's not raunchy or derogative. It's just sometimes you got to say something to
I'm
make
positive, but I
words-
will slap
words
you. I like
matters,
that.
yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
How long have you been doing Fathers in Hip Hop as a movement 501c, the whole business? How long? Why did you want to do this so much?
I tell people that I took my pain and converted it into the passion to pursue my purpose. My wife passed away from cancer in 2014.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And 11 months prior to that, my mother passed. So here I am, unemployed, independent hip-hop artist with 2 small children. My daughters were 6 and 8. And now I have to balance that. And it was, some strong opinions that I wouldn't be able to live up to that responsibility. And I felt different. In fact, I knew different. I knew that where I was weak, God was strong. Where I couldn't, He could.
Most brothers would be feeling weak at that moment. 2 kids, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you're weak, He is strong. Ain't that the song we used to sing?
Yeah, you get props for that, man.
Nah,
you get props for that.
So how long it take you to get out of that mental state to get back onto the grind?
Well, I think the grind never stopped because that was my therapy. To keep going, to keep pushing, because now I have a responsibility. I always had the responsibility, but you feel like when you got your mate, I'm out here taking risk, and if something happened, my wife gonna hold it down. You know what I mean? But now you're in a situation to where I can't even go to the corner store to grab some Swishers. Because I gotta get the girls in the car. Come on, we gotta run around the car. Even though it's just around the corner, I can't leave my 6 and 8-year-old.
Heck no, not in America.
It changes.
So that changed my hustle, because at that point I was still very much so out the trunk. You know what I mean? And I couldn't take my 6 and 8-year-old out there into the street and push my product. So I would get my grind on. From 8 when I drop them off at school till I pick them up around 3. I could move. But, God just brought other opportunities for me to be able to earn income. And the whole Fathers in Hip Hop movement really started from backstage conversations with other artists and social media. Everybody know your business when you share it. So a lot of people, knew that I lost my wife. They saw that I was with the girls. And I remember the first person that really acknowledged it, that I didn't have a personal relationship with, was Sugar Free. He came out to the high desert to do a show, and we didn't know each other on a personal level. Like, I didn't even know.
He's a cool dude. I didn't perform with him a couple of times.
But he said, "Let me holler at you, Jack." And pulled me out to the side. He's like, "Man, my condolences, to your mom and your wife, and I love what you're doing with the girls."
He know? Yeah.
That's what I look. I said, "How you know?" He said,
"You up here?"
He say, "I've been watching."
Oh.
and then he used my own line on me. He said, "I follow the wings."
You kind of sounded like him when you said that.
Yeah, I got this.
You going back saying what I want to do.
And that was deep. And then he started sharing.
I heard he's a very religious guy, or he's spiritual.
He's very down to earth and up in the sky at the same time. You know what I mean? But he shared something about his mother and his children, and that was what it was. You know what I mean? And then I ended up doing a record, with Dub C, and we were in the studio, and he was like, "Man, I see what you're doing out there, bro." And we in the studio sharing pictures. He's showing me his kids, and I'm showing him mine. And so I said, "Man, what would it be like if the world could hear these conversations of us men in the industry?" And therefore, Fathers in Hip Hop, I wanted to do a documentary. So I hollered at my boy, David Wilmore. I reached out to some B-list, A-list, whatever you want to call artists, and asked them to, pull up and have a dialogue. I do an interview, and fatherhood would be the topic. Some of the bigger names, they don't believe in things till they see it. So I said, okay, let me take it to the independent artists. And I'll be able to offer them some exposure and visibility and have great content, discussing fatherhood. So we started filming that.
That's what's up. I ain't never even heard nothing like that in hip-hop right now.
Man, it's there now, though, like I said, and you give God all the glory, but I do see that a fire was sparked. And I'm not here to say that I was the first, because I probably wasn't. But I do see God have inspired and opened other people's minds to the subject matter of fatherhood. And shout out to all the movements representing fatherhood. I'm not the type of dude that's gonna be like, oh, they copying me, because God is the giver of all vision. And if he gave it to me, he can give it to them. My only thing is, let's connect and do it together. Let's take your movement, my movement, his movement, her movement, and put it together to really maximize God's vision, because he never intended for fathers in hip hop to be just me, or I wouldn't have put the S on the end of it. It would have been father in hip hop.
You threw God out about 8 times right now. You really clean.
Man, my name's Justified, brother. It ain't no coincidence.
Wow.
That's his real name.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, God is everything, bro, and it's not to be churchy, it's not to be holier than thou, but that's just where, like my record says, where I'm at. I can't imagine being able to do some of the things that the movement has been able to do if it wasn't a plan. And you know, my steps was already paved. I just had to follow it. And,
you read the Bible a lot?
I don't. When I was little, man, we had devotion every morning before we went to school. My father prayed with us before we went to school.
Yeah, I went through that too.
I went to church. So, and I need to read. I ain't making an excuse for not reading, but the word is in me.
Yeah.
And the Bible is still being written. The story is still being told. So open up your books to the chapter Justified. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 1, verse 2.
You think there's going to be a new Bible? That's deep.
It doesn't even need to be a new Bible. It's just what they called it. News is
new
Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. If somebody want to market it and try to make some money like that, but unless your words was given to you directly from God, I wouldn't want to make a new Bible. You understand me?
Well, the Bible is nothing but a story about a particular
chapter.
Period of time that happened from Jesus being born and before that in his death and the locust.
That's the New Testament. Yeah. Take it back to Adam, brother.
Yeah, man. So
the heavens and the stars and the.
If there's a new story being written, it's gonna be rough. This Bible gonna be rough. The new one.
Well, I mean, it's ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's just a story that's been told.
Everything is happening.
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
If they were still authoring the Bible, you might have the Book of Obama.
Now you're going too far.
No, I'm
turning to the Book of Obama.
Yeah, but he could be in the new.
Turn this.
And like I said, I ain't even on no political with it. I'm just saying that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, those men's autobiographies are chapters of this world.
Mm-hmm. I can see what you're saying.
So
with
it's
that.
just we still living in what is Bible times. We're in God's time. It's His time.
We are in Bible time.
We're still here.
Yeah,
we're living in the end that the Bible talk about.
Yeah.
So I mean, the story ain't done being told, brother.
I'm looking at your Instagram. You got a lot of famous people on your page. You got Corrupt. You got DW Flame out of Long Beach. How is it working with these gentlemen? Are they did gravitate to you because of the message? I know DW got kids.
Well, when I brought DW Flame up to the high desert, it was for a performance, but he was also presented with a Fathers in Hip Hop Award.
Oh, and he's a young father too.
He's a young father, and he's super solid. And in my business, I try to look for fathers. I want to book fathers. I want to book men that are bringing that bag home to take care of kids and families. I'm not gonna so into the artists that are selling destruction, that aren't putting it back into the life. You know what I mean? So, I'm not here to judge nobody, but you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. So, if I'm looking for apples, I ain't messing with them bananas. You understand me? Here we go.
Let me ask you this. This is from the robot. I used the chat and I threw in something. It says, how has hip-hop music and culture played a role in addressing social justice issues and promoting change? How do you feel about the state of hip-hop right now?
Okay, now we gonna hit the subject. Let's do that. You go first.
Since you're a father in hip-hop, I love hip hop. I'm part of hip hop, but I have a disdain right now.
Speak.
It's just the message.
I feel hip hop has been perverted. It's so powerful, and when you have something powerful, the powers that be want to dilute that. And they find a way, like right now, if you just look at mainstream,
Yeah.
what are we saying?
Do you like any new rappers?
That was me blowing.
I see that smile on your face.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000, man. I probably couldn't even name 5 new dudes.
Yeah.
You know, except for the ones that you just can't help but hear. You know what I mean? But you know, and I'm not saying that there's no good new artists out. It's just what the radio is pushing and what is popular.
The algorithm.
It keeps us in poverty. So I don't really like to listen to stuff that's not gonna push me forward in my purpose, but will dumb me down and distract me from what I'm really supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
But you're not going to turn your back on none of these youngsters, right?
No, we want to give them opportunity. We want to show them something different because they believe that that's the only way they can get to it.
Yeah.
Is they have to do what everybody else is doing.
Gimmicks.
And the labels and the
Deeper
people
than
that's
gimmicks.
giving the deals, this is what they want.
That's what they want.
I remember, you know, when I was 13, 14, you know, rapping and living in Compton, and, you know, it was hard to get in studios at that time in my life, but it was like, when I did meet some connects, they was like, oh, you gotta be a little harder. You don't cuss. You gotta throw some, you know, you gotta switch it up. And it was like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what we're doing with group economics, we are investing into the young artists, but I have a criteria.
Pause. Did you say group economics?
Bang.
Isn't that Dr. Claude Anderson's catchphrase? But now it's ours that we actually, because he did it back in the day. He wrote a book.
Group economics?
Yeah, he got a book on it. And it's an old book, but now it's just coming to, we need to implement that.
Well, now that just goes to what we just said. That God is the giver of vision, because I have no idea who you're talking about.
Dr. Claude Anderson?
Never read the book.
What?
But the same God that gave him the vision for group economics
Got to you.
has,
It got
and
to
not
you.
only in my mind, it's a bunch of cats that probably
It's talking
are
to-
living it
Yeah.
and doing it, and maybe they just haven't identified it as that topic or title, but group economics is the way that it's been getting done for years. Just unfortunately ain't really been capitalized on by us.
Yeah.
Oh, other groups.
Who is your favorite rapper?
A favorite, I'd have to go with Tupac.
Okay.
And not because of the hit 'em ups, not because of the ambitions of a rider, but because of the Dear Mamas, because of the Keep Your Head Up, because of the I Ain't Mad at You, those songs that penetrated to your spirit. And he said he might not change the world, but he will spark the mind of the ones that will. You know what I mean? And his music sparked something in me young, and it's like that's who I look up to. That's the greatest of my time. I don't know about any other time, but that to me, he was the greatest of, you know, of the time that I'm growing up in.
I like KRS-One. He was
he's dope. KRS-One got a Fathers in Hip Hop Award. Imagine that.
Really?
Bang. Yeah, I met KRS-One. He came up to do a show. I'm in the high desert, and they booked me to host it. And, you know, I printed up a platform and caught him, you know, backstage. And when I showed it to him and I told him what it was, he was like, yo,
He loved
this
it.
is dope.
And he had something to say about it, didn't he?
He gave me a beautiful drop.
That
It's on
brother-
Instagram. Go look for
No,
it.
man,
I'll
that
tag
brother
you.
kicks knowledge you could throw any subject at him.
He
Politics.
said the father will take you farther.
Yeah. Yo, Eric, not yet. Could you play that clip that says Father's Day impactful clip? Play that, and then we're gonna go into commercials.
Bang, oh, y'all got clips. Y'all fancy.
Earth, no one on this earth will love you and care for you more than your father. No one. No one on this earth will love you and care for you and have a burn in his heart for you more than your father. And it's important that you know that your father is the most valuable person in your life. Irrespective of who he is, with all of his flaws and all of his mistakes, he is your father. And don't ever think in your life that any man on this earth will ever love you and care for you and want goodness for you more than your father. Impossible. I'll challenge anyone.
Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna go to commercial break. I'm gonna read my spots real quick.
Man, want to call my dad, man.
I'm saying that was a powerful clip. Powerful. I loved it. And his beard. He was very powerful. Okay. First plug goes out to 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. Affordable timepieces. Remember, you cannot purchase class, but you can always afford style. 17 Watches. You can find them on Instagram or Facebook. Weekly specials. I like watches. I'm a watch guy. You know, I have a couple pieces, you know, for different moments. This is 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. Please check him out, www.17thwatches.com. And when you purchase a watch, please use code 1V2 at checkout because I need that credit. That's 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. 17 Watches by Chris Johnson. Next plug goes out to, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what Zumba is? Do you know what Zumba is? Well, it's a certain kind of
There she is, Miss Lady herself.
There you go. Want to learn Zumba? Want to learn dancing? It's healthy. We, Lelaine Dixon Zumba, I should remember her name. Lelaine Dixon Zumba has a free remote class that you can join from in your home. Find her on IG or Facebook. That's Lelaine Dixon Zumba.
Let's talk more
It's time
dance.
to move to the latest Zumba dance. She selects only the best songs and she gets you moving, gets the heart rate pumping.
You got some footage of that of her show?
I actually attended the class last week for a song, so she might put something out there.
Yeah, we need to have a clip of her. Yeah. I showed her breaking people's backs.
As a black man, I don't have any rhythm. I figured that out. Anyway, check her out, Lelaine Dixon Zumba, and her class is on Thursday, 7 p.m. to 7:45. That's Lalaine Dixon, Dixon Zumba. And this one goes out to clip number 3. You need a website, need a social media manager, business cards, and more. Please contact Portia Irvin.
Portia Irvin.
Portia Irvin. What's this? P. Irvin. It was P. Irvin at
Are you talking my boo-boo?
No, it was one word. It sounded like Irvin, but it's not. It's P. Irvin.
Look at that pretty picture of her. Oh.
P. Irvin at consultant.com. Please find her on IG at Creations Inspire.
She is dope, y'all.
Websites, business cards. Please contact Portia Creations. P. Irvin at consultant.com. And on IG again, that's Creation Inspire.
Get it right.
2. What's he talking about out here? You good? You on the phone? Okay. Those are my plugs. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to RJ Polo. He had Wale come out last week. This week he has Jeremiah. So please, single couples. If you're single or a
He
couple,
said single couples.
Single couples.
Hey, I said, they don't come in separate doors.
single couples, go down there. You'll have a great time at Mixed Champagne Lounge, and that's in
Single
Ontario.
couples. Is that the new relationship? Single couples.
Single couples is a new thing.
I love you, but I don't know.
DeMarco, he was a guest last week. Want to give a shout out to him. Shout out to Cafe Organics, TF Wynn, Mickey Brown. Also, Janet Jackson was in town. Did you know that?
Yes, and she's looking like she's aging backwards.
Yeah.
She still looks
He
good.
was at the Yamava.
Yeah.
Also, Kevin Hart was in town too. Did you know that? He was there. And Earthquake, I heard, is coming to town
Yes.
this weekend.
Actually, Pierre told me because Pierre's gonna be out here with him too.
Are you gonna try and attend that one?
You know what? I'm gonna try and get down on that because Earthquake has a hell of a show.
He's one of the best.
He's one of those comedians that when he has other comedians, because I did a show with him in L.A., he makes you look like you're even better than you were. Yeah, because everybody's so excited, and then you come up and then just do regular.
Right.
You're gonna have fun. I love performing with him.
Eric, I got a clip named, it's the first one under Hot Mess, Zooted Comedy. Play that real quick and then we're gonna get right back into the shizo.
the worst holiday in the world? I've done the research. I already know. Let me tell you something. Mother's Day is the second most celebrated holiday in the world. Christmas is first. So that means it's Jesus, then your mama. You know what Father's Day fall at? Number 20. I can't think of 18 other holidays. Do you realize Halloween is number 6? Does that mean ghosts and goblins go before fathers? Arbor Day is number 13. I don't even know what that is. I just know it come before me. That's crazy. Columbus Day is number 16. Celebrating Columbus Day is like celebrating somebody finding money in your house. Where you get that $50 from? I discovered it in your kitchen.
Yeah, that was Sadiq. That was a funny clip. Speaking on that, you guess how much money is spent on Father's Days?
Probably not as much as Mother's Day.
No, Mother's Days is knocking it off at $35 billion.
For real?
And $25 billion for Father's Day. Just letting you know.
At least there's some billions going out. Okay, all right. I mean, there's some fathers out there, doing their thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So in the studio, this casual conversation, KCEA, we're back in the studio with our guest, Justified Fathers in Hip Hop.
Justified.
Man, I'm so happy to have you down here, brother.
Don't say my name like that. You know I'm just messing with you.
Justified. Is there any tips you could share with young fathers, with your girls? Was there any kind of things that you did in their younger years that you thought was actually valuable and you would like to share? Any kind of extras? Because I got one tip, but what is your tip to young fathers?
I think the most important thing, and I had to learn this the hard way, as it is our job, to provide and to protect and all those things, the engagement is very important. And the reason I say that is because when my wife try to tell other fathers, don't wait to have to do it alone to do the things that you need to be doing.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
How hard is daycare at their age?
Day one, you have to be a day one.
How hard is daycare at their age?
He said, so he's doing it all himself. Yeah, ain't no daycare.
No.
To have to do it alone. He there to do the thing.
Their age.
I had my day one.
How hard is daycare at their age?
He said, so he's doing it all himself. Yeah, ain't no daycare. My daughter Leslie was very there. And I had my older children that became my children in the marriage. My daughter Leslie was very helpful, with her little sisters. She was already out of the home and on her own, but she had my back, and I didn't take advantage of that. See, some people take advantage of their babysitters.
Yeah.
And they calling to get the kids watched for any and everything. I made sure that I only had her watch her sisters when I was going to get a bag.
Yeah.
It wasn't so I could go hang out with the homies.
When it was detrimental.
It wasn't so I could go on a dinner date.
That's the difference of responsible
parents. They with me until I need to go get something for them. You know what I mean? And then their sister would step in. And then it was sometimes when I didn't have plans and she'd call and say, hey, what the girls doing? I'm going to come get them. Then I could do me.
Yeah.
But for me to call and say, hey, I need you to watch the girls so I could go on a date just wasn't
part of it.
It wasn't part of it.
So it interfered with your dating time then too.
I didn't say that. I said I wasn't sending them to their sister to do it. Y'all go on to bed. Y'all go on to bed and Kiki gonna come through the back door. I didn't say it. Stopped it. I said,
wow.
Reprioritized it.
Okay. I like that.
I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real.
Education is high. As fathers in hip hop, you stress education. How are you dealing with the technology right now, the AIs? How are you maintaining or watching social media on your kids? How are you gauging these things? Because times have changed.
What's that shit with the little girls?
Man, in all things, trust God. You know what I'm saying? The things that I don't understand, the things that could stress me out worrying about what they seeing, what they doing, I have no control over it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the Serenity Prayer says, give me wisdom to accept the things that I cannot change. You know what I mean? And there's some things that I cannot change, so I just have to understand that, but do the things that I can, and that's teach them right, show them the difference between reality and television.
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah,
reality TV ain't reality in most cases. So it's about raising them right. It's about me being transparent with them.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you shouldn't say that, and why not?
Yeah.
Somebody else is.
Yeah.
So I'd rather them hear the truth from me than somebody else.
The honest truth.
You know, because I'm gonna, like my dad used to always tell me. He says, "Son, I will never lie to you. It serves me no purpose to lie to you." So I don't lie to my kids, even in my wrong, even in my error. Hey, I
strongly second that. Like, as a father, you cannot lie to the children. It's because they're gonna know, and they're gonna hold it up against you. And if you say you're gonna do something or take them somewhere, they expect you to do
But see,
something.
sometimes that ain't a lie. That's a good intention that didn't manifest.
You should have let them know. It's a strong possibility. It's not gonna happen, but you know, prepare for the worst, expect the best type thing.
I mean, it's times that I tell them no to things so they don't get their hopes up, but the whole time I know I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
That gives you time to get it though. Yeah.
Because if I don't do it, I already told you I wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
So you know, I done gave you a week or two to wrap
You got
your mind
daddy
around
tricks.
it.
Okay, all right.
Let you wrap your mind around this no, and then when it shows up as a yes, you like, hey, God, he did it. Gotta do it. So yeah, you know, I keep it real with my daughters, and anytime, any place. If I could speak this, because it just came to my mind.
What's that?
One thing that I can't stand is when other people try to correct me about something that I've said or doing towards my daughters while my daughters are there. Don't worry about that, girl.
Who said that? Why? What?
Don't worry about that. You was about to feed them and clothe them.
You know what really got me was when I was going to the grocery store, and my daughter, when she was young, the lady behind the counter was like, "Oh, you got a beautiful daughter," and then she's talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend yet?" And my daughter's like 7 or 8.
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah," and my daughter was like, "No, I'm going to college." That was the answer.
Right.
Who? Why?
But why even ask that?
Yeah.
It's a kid, right?
How'd you answer? How'd you answer?
Oh, I almost pulled the black card out.
Okay.
Platinum
black card.
I was going to shut it down, but the little girl had the right answer for her. I'm going to college first. And right now she's a third from this guy.
Right.
Yeah, day one.
She just graduated, didn't she?
Not yet. One more year of Redlands University psychology major. So
that's what's up.
She's
I'm gonna tell
working.
you congratulations.
Man.
Yeah,
Man,
We've
kids
been
are
doing
getting,
it.
man, my son teaches Latin, and I was surprised he was even doing that. I mean, I ain't never had no problems, because I have boys, right?
Yeah, you got boys.
Yeah, once I set them on their path, they stayed there. You get worried when you have daughters, because there's so much...
I don't know.
Man, let me tell you something.
I only have one, and there's no worries.
Really? Because
we put it down in the beginning. If you put it down
a lot.
Yeah, but you gotta worry about the mother brothers in the streets trying to put it down.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you haven't done your job correctly,
you got worried.
That brother in the street can come and change that direction. And if he's offering or giving her something that you're not, in the terms of emotional support
Yes.
in terms of being able to talk to you and those things like that, then somebody can come in.
Yeah, that's gotta be a weird feeling.
And sway that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what y'all
I
have in common.
can
Y'all have
say
daughters.
She's 20, and we have a great communication.
that's the
You know,
key.
yeah, it's nothing she can't say.
Me sometimes
and
I'll be
we
too
talk.
short.
Oh, I'm
fused.
short too.
But
Yeah.
you know, I know how to come back, and I know how to, you know, apologize. I know how to, you know, say I'm sorry when I identify my own wrong and things. You know what I mean? Because I tell them I'm only human.
Yeah,
I'm not
girls
perfect.
are sensitive.
And
You
I
have
ain't
to be
perfect.
there. Yeah.
But mine is they sensitive and rude. They little me's. You know what I'm saying? They especially my 17-year-old, bro. We go at it because she
your
gotta have the
real
last
me.
word.
Yeah, that's your attitude. That's you.
And now I'm at the point to where, you know what? When I say something, it don't even require a reply.
Yeah.
When I say clean the kitchen, you don't gotta tell me why you didn't or that you was. Just do it. There's too much talk going on. Talk less, do more.
Clean cracking.
Yeah. That's old school parent. Spend 10 minutes telling me why you didn't do it, and you could have been 10 minutes into the mission.
I saw this article here, gentlemen, and I thought it was pretty informative, talking about family, social media, and it gave recommendations for kids on Facebook, and then they said, cyber expert says they recommend kids that get on Facebook should be 13 years or above. Instagram, 16 years or above. Snapchat, 16 plus. What's your opinion on that? Do you allow your kids to interact with these apps?
I do, but you know what? Anything that, like what my son was doing, I try to at least see and ask him, because you can't stop him from looking on the computer. I mean, it's on their phone, it's everywhere. So I at least ask. But if they want it and it's positive, go for it. You know, I don't know.
How old is your youngest, Jess? Justify.
15.
15 years old? Okay. So we almost out of the red zone as far as this whole new world that we're going into. I feel something compassionate for these people, little kids, 7 to 6 year olds.
Oh man,
You know, right now our children are at the age like we got guidance
so
with.
it ain't over.
Oh, see, you got grandkids.
6 granddaughters,
Grandfathers in hip hop.
2 grandsons.
Y'all better stop singing that song. Turn it
And,
down.
you know,
That's one of the names of the song.
it's what they see, what's strange to us, what's inappropriate to us, what we once were taught was wrong. They're coming up in a world where it's right.
For real. For real.
They don't have remembrance of a time like we do. I got a 1-year-old grandson. This is what he see.
Yeah.
There's no, and unless his parents and grandparents impart that wisdom or that knowledge into them, the truth will die with us.
Yeah, 2043 gonna
wow.
be rough for
The
him.
truth gonna die with us, bro. If we don't pass it down, if we don't do our jobs to properly equip our children with the game, the truth will be dead soon.
Well, we don't raise our kids. TV and social media does more than, I mean,
But you gotta interject. You gotta cut that off sometime.
how do you do that?
Disconnect. Plug it out. Disconnect. Some people have the timers on the cell phones for the kids. You know, shut it down at a certain time. You know, maybe 1 hour a day. I know for coming up, when I was younger, my parents were trying to do that. You're gonna watch TV for 1 hour a day when you get from school. After that, the hour's off.
Wasn't that known anyway?
Yeah.
I just want to see the Cosbys at 8.
2 through
Fresh
13.
Prince
That's
at
all
8.
we have.
What they think?
Click, 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 click,
Living
click.
color on Sunday. You know, it cut me off during the week. Wasn't unknown.
Justified. Do you have any projects coming up? What you working on? What you promoting right now? What you got going on? Besides what just happened on Saturday.
Well, the thing that's, you know, main in our office right now is Desert Jam 3 is coming up July 22nd at the Antelope Valley Fairground.
Desert Jam.
Desert
huh?
Jam.
The
3.
Desert Jam 3 is our 3rd year doing the Desert Jam. We've done it in Lancaster every year. Shout out to my business partners, Mr. Morgan and my guy Dion, B. Mike Rob. you know, we built this together, and we're coming up on our 3rd year. We outgrew the location that we did the first 2 at. So we got a bigger location, and we brought in some bigger, you know.
That's a bigger bag. That's a bigger bag coming.
Yeah.
So
How much people can this venue hold?
well, I know the capacity on the venue that we got is 6,000.
Oh, so
man.
I don't know. I just want to get half of it.
Yeah.
If I get half of
Is it a
it,
1-day event, 2-day
I'm taking
event?
a vacation if we get 3,000 people. I'll let y'all know right now.
Yeah. Is it a 1-day event, 2-day event?
It's 1-day event.
All day though.
12 p.m. to 8, maybe 9. Food vendors, retail vendors. We'll have a kids zone with jumpers and face painting. We got little Tommy.
So this is a family-oriented show.
Yes. We have a teen explosion to where we always. The last 2 years we called it "Let the Kids Be Kids." This year we're calling it the teen explosion, and you know, we got the young artists, giving them an opportunity, you know, to come out and to showcase their
You
talents.
got a lot of positivity in your work.
Oh man, I can't.
This is the guy. This is the guy right here.
Can't go no other way, man. I tell people now, we party with a purpose. If it ain't a purpose attached to it, it's no need in me to do it. I'm not chasing paper. I'm chasing purpose. And if you find your purpose, the paper gonna come.
Yeah. Say that again.
If you chase your purpose, the paper's gonna come.
Okay. All right.
Write it down.
All right.
Write it down.
Let me see what this robot said. This robot says, "In what ways do you believe hip hop can empower and uplift marginalized communities?" What's that mean? Marginalized communities.
Well, it's not going to do that. Rap is deeply involved in its new phase, and it's not going to break soon. I don't see it breaking soon. It's all.
Put your glasses on, because it's coming. It's coming.
I hope it does. I hope it does. I really do, because I'm tired. I'm tired of this mess. I
When
really
you
am.
can see, and this is how I answer that question. When Justified, Compton artists, you know, Inland Empire for a long time, HD, but just an artist, you know, rapper. I'm not a gangster, but they're automatically gonna put me in that category, right?
Yeah.
When I can stand on stage with the mayor at an event brought to you by hip hop and be able to get them to understand why we're doing what we're doing, at least as far as our movement is concerned, and I can get, you know, I had Mayor Jones, the mayor of Victorville, for our holiday giveaway last year. She went side by side with me through Walmart while we blessed the community with gift cards.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I did see that on your gram.
That's kind of tight.
Hip hop is doing that.
That's what's up.
Fathers in hip hop is doing that. So there's hope for the game, and we understand we might not be able to reach everybody, but if we can reach enough, we can make a difference. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those one step at a time type things that, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will the restoration
That's what's
of pure hip hop. You know what I mean? And
Speaking of reaching out, we got a
We
local
moving.
talent in here in here tonight.
Kenny G looking at him.
Come on, man.
Yeah, can you come over there on that seat right there?
Actually, I'm gonna slide him in over here.
Yeah, come on, come stand over here. Just don't hit me with your horn. Oh, he got the
You
guitar.
know, Cosmo, he has this,
Come on, this way.
he has a way of attracting, going out there, and you said you took his guitar and started playing it out of his
I
hand.
play the guitar, so I saw him. I said, man, why don't you come on up and speak?
Yeah, let's hear him play. What's your name, sir?
Mark Anthony.
His name is Mark Anthony. We have Mark Anthony in the building.
Yeah, this is special.
Yes. He has an acoustic guitar. He's gonna bless us. He's gonna bless us with some acoustics. Yeah, he's tuning it up. But right now we have Mark Anthony on the guitar. We have Justified Fathers in Hip Hop in the studio. Cosmo, Portia in the background. Please follow, subscribe. He's still tuning in? He's still
He
tuning.
ain't heard sugar free. Stay red tea. You ain't got to get red tea. But That's all. That's all a part of the. He's stringing us along.
He is stringing us along. Are you ready? You got a second? He's still working on it.
That's how I'll be sounding in the Guitar Center, and I just be picking them up.
Okay. Eric, do me a favor. Play the Jordan B. Peterson Girls Boys clip real quick. It's gonna be a second.
Will hit puberty on average at least a year earlier, which is substantially earlier, and that indicates a real biological impact of the lack of a masculine figure in the household, because that's a walloping physiological difference. We know that boys who have lack of father at the age of 12 have telomeres, so this is a genetic difference, that are on average something approximating 15% shorter, which means that all other things being equal, they're already doomed to a much shorter life. And so we don't know what the pervasive multi-generational consequences of the breakdown in familial structure in the final analysis are. Girls who don't have a father will hit puberty on average at least a year earlier, which
is dope. Peterson, I like him. Anyways, ready, Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's from the TV show?
Nope. TV show? No, my TV a long time ago.
You said the theme. I'm like, is that from the show?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, run it. So he's still tuning in, Cosmo? He's still tuning in? You got it. Run it. Go ahead. You good?
We're on a Star Search.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us. No, keep playing. This casual conversation, Mike Flex, Cosmo.
What up, baby?
We have Justified in the building, Fathers in Hip Hop. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Shout out to Portia Irvin for holding us down. Lelaine Dixon Zumba, 17 Watches, RJ Polo, TF Win. Who else was checking us out? DeMarco, and Earthquake's coming to town. All these good stuff. This has been a fantastic show.
Yes,
you want to say anything to these people?
I want to thank you guys for tuning in and supporting me and Mike. We're going to keep doing this and bringing you information on the IE and keep you guys abreast of any situation happening in our town. And feel free to call in if you want to join in on the conversation.
No, you ain't calling in.
Mike can be killing the callers. Oh, love y'all.
That's blessed.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 5 FM. Advice? bookkeeping, financial statement preparation and analysis services.
Heard here every Wednesday.